working on it. I would say at the same time, the chairman of the company is breathing down my neck to get this car into the portfolio and into our business plan. So rest assured that you know what my priorities are as it relates to that car. If we then look at the company and on an overall perspective, it is of course our ambition to make a profitable and a sustainable business out of this. Our ambitions are to be around 125,000 unit company with a break-even level at 85,000, meaning that we can make good money with volumes that we're used to. If we happen to sell a few more, hey, we're not going to be sorry about that, of course. But we're happy if we reach the 125,000. The good thing that we're in at this point is we have a fully funded business plan. We have new cars around the corner. We have a fantastic, relevant brand, and we have a little bit of a safety net from General Motors with access to technology that we might need in the future if we so decide. At the same time, we're independent, we're standalone, we make the decisions, we make the priorities, we decide what technology to use, a fantastic situation that will lead us to a very successful company, I would say. Last but not least, I would like to also ask you, as I've heard many of you making comments about the new 9.5, the best you could do for Saab in the near future is to go into a dealership and buy a new car. But most of all, keep doing what you're doing, keep supporting us, and then I'm sure that we jointly are going to take this successful brand's heritage into the future and really show those who are a little bit questioning that Saab is here to say Saab is going to be a very successful company. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And that's really an applaud for all of our employees, our dealers, and all the Saab customers that are really supporting us. What I now have the opportunity is, of course, to introduce the next speaker. I'll do it for you because it is, my privilege to standing up here, and you might come up and add a few comments if you wish. But Victor Muller and I met on the 30th of November last year for the first time in Detroit at the Marriott in the Renaissance Center. And we have since that time worked, of course, very closely together and had a lot of fun, but a lot of work over the last several months, I would say, but it has been extremely enjoyable. And Victor has brought, of course, not only a lot of automotive experience into the company, but also enthusiasm, a belief in the brand, and has really been motivating us to, even in the toughest times, actually find a solution to the various issues we have dealt with. His wife is jealous because I spend more time with him than she is. But that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be, I think. But anyway, and you'll probably later on also hear the story from Victor, how he thinks he won the Mil Miglia. But rest assured that, look at the scoreboard. Thank you very much, Victor.
As you can imagine, we have a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. There are some very funny people in this room too. And let me tell you, when I was born, was actually on the day that Jon got his driver's license when he was 9. And this is what I heard. That's what I heard. And today I got a frog. I don't know what the relationship is between Saab and a frog. But I got a frog. And the frog made the sound of a two-stroke Saab, which must have been almost the first thing I heard when I saw light in this world, because I happened to be living in a block in the south of Amsterdam, where in those days it was very common that large car companies were right smack in the city of Amsterdam. And in that block was the importer of Saab. And so when I looked down of my bedroom window down to the center of the block, and these were sort of like Kensington, Amsterdam, really nice houses. And you look down and you would see the Saab 92s, 93s, 95s coming in and out. And my father had an auditing company, an accountant's firm, and the young accountants all drove Saab. So when my mother didn't have time, because she worked with my father in the firm, when she didn't have time to take me somewhere, to the zoo probably, she would ask one of the guys, take the little boy and bring him to the zoo, and I would be sitting in the back of a Saab 96. And when you go through hell, like Janaka and myself did, it was truly hell. You wonder why you keep on going, right? Well, I'll tell you two things why we kept on going. The first is you. We kept on going because of you. The incredible support that we got from Saab owners, Saab clubs, Saabs United worldwide it's unbelievable. I don't think there is any brand anywhere in the world that can pride itself for being saved by those who bought it, right? Bought the product. I mean, it's unbelievable. You did it. And last week, Janaka and myself had the privilege of hosting 800 people at the Saab Festival in Trollhättan. It was stunning. And again, there we had the privilege of meeting so many that actually went into the streets and said, save Saab. And it was actually a Dutch initiative, these Saab convoys. We had nothing to do with that. This just happened all by itself. And Saabs United picked it up. Now, can you imagine that a guy who lives in bloody Tasmania, right? You can't get any further away from Sweden than Tasmania, right? The moon is farther away. This guy, on his own, managed to mobilize an entire world population of Saab owners to rally in our favor. And I can assure you that he has been, Stephen Wade, Swade as he's been called, has been one of the most avid supporters of the acquisition of Saab, the survival of Saab. And last week, we honored him in a very appropriate way. A month ago, he came to the factory and he gave Janaka a boomerang, very appropriate from a guy from down under. And the wonderful thing about boomerangs is that they keep on coming back. So we designed a prize, an award for him, in which we nailed his own boomerang to a piece of wood, to a plinth, and put a little model of a 92 on it, of the Saab. And we gave that to him, and we instituted the Saabs United Award, that every convention, every Saab festival actually, we're going to give that award to the person or the organization that has supported our brand most in the past 2 years, because it's a biannual event. The most supportive person or organization that has done something for the brand to help us forward, moving forward. And the first person, of course, to take the award was Stephen Wade himself. And he was very much moved. But it comes to show what Saab is all about. Nothing prepared us for that. I'm sure even you must have been surprised by what happened in this incredibly tough period with the brand and how it managed to survive. And the question, of course, arises, how did it all happen? How could this happen? Janaka explained, this company's gone through every conceivable legal hurdle